Audio test. Audio test. Hello guys, welcome to the stream. We are here, back in Los Angeles, it's light this time, on Vatsim, and we have actually got some controllers on now. I'll go ahead and connect to Vatsim now actually. We are, today, call sign Skyways 6035. I'll probably just say 6035, it's a lot easier, right? Connect. I actually haven't pre-filed the flight plan yet, so I'll do that quickly. I'm a little bit behind, not behind, just a little bit, today. I'm sort of, I've just gotten up and I'm like, right, stream. File that. Right, disconnect. I need to disconnect first, guys. Otherwise it won't let me pre-file it. There we go. Connect. Fetch the flight plan. There we go. And file. There we go. We're back on the network then, straight away. We are here in Los Angeles. There are currently like 2 planes on the ground, then us with the 3rd one. We've got a Delta, a Lufthansa, and then me. Yesterday, yes, I did do the mad event from Lisbon down to Dubai. It was a long flight. I really enjoyed it. However, I did run into it was okay in the end, but I've discovered that FSX has a virtual memory limit. Now, this virtual memory limit, you can see it down here. It got to about 95% once the Dubai scenery loaded in, and that meant give it, an hour more, then my sim probably would have crashed. So what I've done, I've turned down all the texture settings by quite a bit, and as you can see, normally when I spawn in, it's about 65 to 75%, depending on where I am. That's down to 56, look. So, yeah, I've turned down some texture settings for the scenery, no texture settings for the area though, just like for the plane, just for the scenery around us, nothing for the airports either, that's what I meant to say. So the airports all look the same as they did before, it's just the scenery around the place that doesn't even look very good to begin with, so it doesn't really make any sense how you could even turn it down. It's hard to believe it was on max settings originally. But anyway, I did run into a small problem. I couldn't start the engines as well on first pushback. I had to respawn. Now, 2 things could have caused that. I used quick edit pushback on GSX, which has already broke the Airbus. That's probably the prime candidate. Or it could also have been the fact that the centre pumps were on. But we're not even going to need the centre pumps today because it's not a 7-hour flight. So, really, I barely need the centre pumps on that flight. This thing has pretty good fuel tanks. Yes, we're cruising to 41,000, just go down in there right now. We have got ATC online, so I will go ahead. Once I get our POS init sorted, I'll get that onto the route page, and then we'll go over here and dispatch today's flight. So, today, oh I hate this plane. Right, Info. I can't. I wish there was just a button where you could save the config, but I honestly don't think you can do that. I really don't think you can do that. Kilos. And then back to the CDU. Boom. So now I know what I'm doing with the weight. Let's go ahead and get the fuel pumped in. 14667. There we go. That is our fuel. And passengers today, we are taking. What was the set number? 255. Oh, that's the whole of economy. There we go. That is the full economy. And we're looking for a zero fuel weight of 157.2. So we need to add 2,300, I think that is. Yes. So that's not much cargo today we're taking then. 157.2, yes. Set payload, set fuel tanks. That can go back to there, I don't need it for a bit. And now, I think we're going to request clearance. Oh, wait, no, first GSX. GSX does drive up the memory a little bit. So that's interesting. Oh, great. Is GSX not working? Okay, for some reason GSX were disabled. Okay, GSX, you were disabled. And that's put our memory up. Maybe GSX is the reason that the flight sim almost crashes. Because unfortunately this game doesn't get rid of the memory, is its biggest problem. It doesn't get rid of the memory afterwards. Right, 255, and then we're going to be using, I don't know who we're going to use really, probably just like, there you go, Alliance Ground, because we're not a proper airline, we're Topa Sky. Handling, there you go, so on to the weather. So QNH down here is 299 literally not really much of an issue. Transition actually is always 18,000 in the US, nice and simple. Let's go ahead and get ourselves onto centre. Forward cargo door. So yeah, we have Los Angeles Centre online. So that'll get us ATC for the first part of the run, including on the ground here in Los Angeles. Right. Also, I discovered a quite cool little trick. Look, press the mic button and it brings that up. It makes switching between radio frequencies a lot easier. So what we'll do, we'll get 1228 on there, swap it, and then get 1258 tuned into there. So oh, the memory didn't come up that much then. Cool. Where it's down 25, I believe, if I know that correctly. Yes, 2.5. Well, technically, I think it's 2.7 maybe, but the game got it wrong. I selected 2.5, and I think the game's put me in the position of 2.7. Los Angeles Centre, hello. Skyways 6035. We're requesting clearance to Denver, please.
Skyway 6035, Heavy LA Center, good evening. Clear to Denver Airport, Orca for departure. Las Vegas transition, the net's filed. Climb via SID, squawk 7152.
Alright, clear to Denver on the Orca 4 departure, Las Vegas transition. Climb via the SID, squawk 7152 for Skyway 6035 Heavy.
Skyway 6035 Heavy, read back correct. Spec runway 24 left for departure.
Alright, 24 left for departure, Skyway 6035 Heavy. Right, okay, 24 left for departure, I'll write that down as well. Which is literally right behind us.
Center Delta 351 requesting taxi.
Delta 351, runway 24 left, taxi via Delta 8, Echo Victor.
Right, for some reason there's a space in there, we get that sometimes, so we go.
24 left, Delta 8 via Echo and Victor, Delta 351.
I'm right next to her. Thank you. pre-flight checklist.
It's not the easiest of call signs, this. Skyway 6035. It's like, it's a bit of a, like, whatever. Anyway, departure, we, I think, have been given the departure as planned. However, we are using the Las Vegas transition today. I'll have to look at what that is on Navigraph. Where are you, Navigraph? You're already up. I'm being silly. Right. So, Orca 4. I want to change that to Orca 4. Oh no, we're already on the Las Vegas one. It's automatically Las Vegas. However, we are taking runway 24 left today, so I'll change that. Cool. So, yeah, 24 left. Let's get that plugged in straight away. 24 left. And then the Orca 4 with Las Vegas transition, LAS. That's where we're heading, actually. We're heading to LAS. So execute that. Head to the route now. Get the route plugged in. So let's get SimBrief up here.
Official aircraft at the center is closing. Monitor Unicom 122.8, and you guys have a good night.
Oh, great.
Have a good evening, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie Center. Have a good one.
No problem, guys.
Oh, there we go. Over to Unicom straight away. Oh, there we go. That wasn't much ATC or whatever. I never get very lucky with the ATC here in the US. No, it's probably the time I fly, but it was only online for like 45 minutes. Unbelievable. I never get very lucky with it. Anyway, there we go. We got clearance at least. We got some ATC today. It's probably like the first ATC I've ever had in the US. Because I always get terrible luck with it. Right, activate that. Activate our route. There we go. So it's, yeah, J1462 dicey, then directly bump. The arrival today, we are currently planning, I keep clicking on the wrong things, we are currently planning the ILS runway 34 left. Let's go ahead and check that. Winds are 030, so that would match that runway probably. They've got a number of runways down there in Denver, but it's probably the closest one to it, isn't it? 34 left. We'll plan 34 left for now. It's one of those, Denver's one of those massive airports that just has an insane amount of runways, I think. I'm pretty sure it has a massive amount of runways. Let's have a check. Yeah, it does. It has like 5 runways. No, 6 runways. By the looks of it, the main ones are 34 left and 34 right. Hang a minute, there's 2 34 left. What?
Hello.
How can there be 2 34 left? Look, how are there 2?
Hello.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, how can there be 2? Is that not confusing? Oh, it's because it says ILS 7, look, next to it. That's how they get away with it. That's kind of odd. Oh wait, no, it's 34 and 35, odd. I'm not on it today. Right, yeah, we'll definitely take the 34s because they're closest to the terminal. So we're planning the 34 left at the moment. ILS 34 left. Tele transition. We're planning today. And the Siski. Oh dear. The Sis. Is that what it says? It's SSK. No, SSK. And then is it out or II? Siski. I don't know. 1. And we're taking the. Well, I'm guessing it's the bump transition. It's where we start. Why is it called bump? It just makes me laugh. Oh dear. But yeah, it is the bump transition. And there we go. That is that. We're gonna have no ATC today then, unfortunately. And that's how it is, I guess. Right, let's have a look at today's route then. We get weather and traffic on. Did we get the squawk code tuned in? 7152. Well, let's have a squawk code now. Not that really matters. I'm gonna get that tuned down a little bit, and then we'll have a look at our routes today. So, heading out to Dulry, and then we've got vectors to Clipper. We've got no ATC, so no vectors today. Just be straight out.
How are you?
And we've got to be at 10,000 or above. Are you kidding me? I can't climb to 10,000 that quickly, you know. Yeah, that might cause some problems, this takeoff. Okay, This takeoff sort of requires vectors, and as you know, we're not going to have any vectors today because we haven't got any ATC. This is what I don't like about like the US with these procedures. You actually really need to have vectors for a lot of them.
Hello.
And obviously, how are we supposed to get vectors? Okay. I'll do the vectors myself then. I'll have to put the arrival in again.
I'm right next to her. Thank you.
There we go, I'll put it in again and that should get the yeah, I'll have to just do the vectors myself. So we'll tune runway heading, which will be about 240, and then I'll have to do the vectors myself, unfortunately. Because I have to be above 10,000 at Clipper, which is obviously going to be a bit of a struggle, really. The vectors are at a heading of 251, apparently. Okay. Interesting. Well, that's that for you, I guess. Right, so that's the start of our route then. And then we climb out. We've got to be between 13,000 to flight level 190 at Kegs, and then above 15,000 at Coop, and then we head to Orca, and then from there it splits into 3.
Hello.
I think we're taking it to there's no restrictions anyway. I think we're taking it to Beale. Yes, we are. We're taking it to Beale. Then it's on our route then. And then we're basically straight onto the arrival then, which I'll check later. Make sure we have no discounts in there. Did it duplicate the runway? It does this sometimes, this Boeing. When there's a transition, it duplicates the waypoints. There we go. Is Denver quite a high airport? It is, yeah. I was going to say, I was looking at that and I was like, ugh. How can you approach at 10,000 feet? I was like, oh, Denver's quite high up. I didn't know. I am not from the US, and obviously, therefore, I don't really know much about the geography. So yeah, we're going to be taking off 24 left, heading out Dulray, and then probably going to sort of climb on runway heading, maybe, I'm thinking. If we climb on runway heading, and then sort of wait to get up to 10,000, then turn. So LNAV, VNAV, actually might not need LNAV. I'll use heading select. I'll use heading select upon takeoff. Anyway, looks like the people have finished boarding, so we've got the APU turned on. Initialize flight. Let's go ahead and do the performance then. So copy FMC data. That's all looking pretty good. Optimum, calculate. Flaps 5 departure today it's going to be. With a D rate of 1. And V2 is going to be 144. Okay, it's a nice long runway today, so we can afford a flaps 5. I do normally do a flaps 5, just not in whatever it was, the other place. Was it called Lisbon? No, not Lisbon. That was where I went yesterday. Melbourne. There it is. Eventually. Yeah, my brain's been fried a bit, I think, from yesterday. Right. My brain's definitely been fried. Right, complete that. Back to medium. And accept that. So that's everything there. Trim needs to be 3. That's a very low trim value. Right, let's get you down. Trim value. There we go. Trim value is set. Right, wait for the APU to start running. It is running. Cool. That means we can get the external power off. Fuel pumps are set as they're meant to be. Everything else is good. Get the seatbelts to the on position. And we may as well get our beacon light on now. Right, checklists. Yes, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain. We'd like to add our welcome aboard today's flight. We're just finishing up our last bit of paperwork, and once we've done that, we'll push back. We're estimating an on-time departure. In the cabin today are some of our finest flight attendants who are there for your comfort, but most of all for your safety, so we ask that you give them undivided attention whenever requested. Once again, thanks for flying with us. Sit back and relax, and I'll update you on our progress once we're aboard.
Cool.
Alright, it'll be a left seat takeoff. Taxi route is per ATC instructions.
Why does this guy sound so bored when he says this?
We'll depart via the SID and climb to initial altitude. In the event of an emergency return, we'll coordinate with ATC.
It just sounds like he's bored.
On the checklist and,
like, it's time for the Sid and all taxi is filed. Like, he sounds really miserable. I wonder why. Also, it appears that me turning the texture down for the sceneries really helped that virtual memory. Look at that. It's down from 15%, or 14 now, on what it was in Lisbon. And this is a bigger airport than Lisbon with custom scenery. And there are actually planes on the ground as well, so it's not just like nothingness. Right, done the briefing. That's been done. And we'll get that onto the before takeoff page. Right. Clacks, traffic, push and start for taxi 24 left using Sid. We are using the Orca 4 with last transition. Cool, right. So they're my vectors. Obviously, you know, I'm having to make the vectors up myself, really. I think I'm going to do, because obviously normally we would have just ATC, but we haven't got ATC today. It's one downside that of, like, America's procedures being based entirely on the fact that you have ATC. Because sometimes in real life there will be a situation where you can't have it. And in Vatsim, obviously, it's even more of a problem. But obviously Vatsim's not really life, I guess, so it doesn't take priority. Like sometimes, say they like, you know, it would be chaos. Like say the air traffic controller fell ill or something, and there was no, like, I don't know, there was no backup or something. It would just cause absolute carnage. Be a nightmare. Anyway, right, prepare for pushback and departure. We're going to go ahead and push back. I think we're going to push back to the left, yeah. Not to the right, because we're taxiing. We're only going there, to that runway, 24 left, so not really much of a taxi for us today. The jet bridge has been retracted, although it looks like it's still there, because it's like, it barely retracts. This is a medium gate, so it doesn't quite fit our plane, but it fits our plane better than the other small gates that are in the area, so that's why I chose it. Really, I think this plane can fit into a medium gate. Like, I mean, it's not squashed. Look, I mean, the wingtips aren't over the other gates.
Locking gear.
The small ones may be another story, but the medium ones, I think this thing can. I don't know, maybe the Dash 8's a bit better suited, but this is the Dash 9. Maybe it's a bit more iffy, but who knows? Oh, they're only letting us go left anyway. That's because it's like the main direction, I guess.
Release parking brakes.
Right, release.
Releasing push. All engines.
And hopefully, unlike yesterday's event, the engines will start on first accord. Yep, there they go. Starting immediately. Right, let's get a TCAS on as well. We've got our squawk code tuned in.
Go ahead for cockpit.
Clear to start.
And introduce fuel on the right one. Start the left one.
Clear to start engines.
Start both engines.
Right, introduce fuel on the left. So look outside of that lovely livery. Look at that. Honestly, this plane looks absolutely beautiful at night. When I was flying that BA, I think I took a screenshot actually. When I was flying the BA into Dubai last night in the dark, oh my word, it honestly looked excellent. I mean, obviously that's because you couldn't see the scenery. That's what makes it. That's what lets FSX down, is the scenery. The add-on planes themselves are absolutely awesome, but as I've discovered with this virtual memory, getting real scenery would probably crash the game, so... Oh, how I hate 32-bit programs. Yeah, I don't know, that's why I've lowered the texture. Even though I've lowered the texture, though, that scenery literally looks the same. I mean, I turned the autogen density down to none, and you can still see buildings and everything. Like, what does it actually do? It releases the memory, but what does it actually do? I'm not getting any better FPS either. That's what's even more funny. Like, the FPS is about the same. It's just totally silly. But, and yet I am using, you know, I'm using right now 11% less memory than I was in Lisbon. I mean, yes, there are less planes on the ground here by about 10. But Lisbon's a teeny airport. Lisbon's got 2 runways, yeah, but this airport's got 4. Lisbon's got 2 terminals. This thing has like 5. You know, this airport is massive compared to Lisbon.
Waiting your confirmation for
so therefore it should use up more memory, because there's more, and there's also custom buildings here too. As it's one of the main airports, like Heathrow, Charles de Gaulle, they all have custom scenery objects, like that. That ball there, that's a custom scenery object. Right, engine started good. We can turn off the APU. And everything else I think is all good. Get a taxi light turned on. Yeah, everything looks all good up there, so on the recall everything looks good. So everything is all ready to go then. The memory's going down, now GSX has disappeared. That's amazing. Oh, I just went back up again. GSX, I think, is one of the main killers of performance in this game. It's because it's all AI. You know, that's what causes it. Right, flaps 1.
Tow truck disconnected.
And, no.
Bypass bin removed.
Okay, flaps 5, I want it in the middle. That's everything set then for departure. We've got the auto brakes and everything like that as well, so there we go. Nice livery, this. Bye, GSX. And once they disappear, we can actually leave.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
At least the tow truck's actually moving. Sometimes they just freeze there, and it looks so silly. It's like, I'm going to run you over. They're just sitting there, and then they just despawn. It looks so silly. Have a good trip. There we go. And away we go. Good little bit of power. GSX should despawn. Although that's done nothing for the memory. I think it does keep the memory in place. That's what it is. Right, we'll taxi all the way down here onto Echo. We'll head all the way down Echo to Echo 7. And then taxi onto the runway. It's a very short taxi actually, so we may as well just get the runway turn-offs and the landing lights done now, really. It's literally the world's shortest taxi. Even shorter than the one we had in Melbourne. It's literally just, there we go. And on the runway, there we go. It wasn't particularly difficult. We're not going to take Echo 7 because the Echo 9, which was the one after it, doesn't actually, no, Echo 6 doesn't exist in this game. So we'll just taxi straight on. Right, there's nothing approaching LAX, is there? No, there is nothing approaching LAX, so I am free to line up.
Runway verified.
But yeah, the memory's come back down a little bit now. Now GSX is despawned. Right, and there we go. We'll park ourselves up on runway 24. Check everything's all good. Parking brake. No, that's not relevant. Auto brake RTO. Seatbelts are on. Flaps set to 5. Trim is set. Okay, away we go, guys. I'm not going to bother starting the clock. I'll allow the elapsed time to do that today. See how it fares. Right, onto the SID chart. I'll use this to help vector me later. It recommends doing a heading of 251 and then heading out on that. Right. 40% and take off power set. And the elapsed time will start as soon as we enter the air, basically. Right. Airspeed is live.
80 knots.
80 knots.
Check.
V1.
Rotate.
Rotate.
V2.
And we're in the air. I love flying this plane. It feels so nice to fly, I'll be honest.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. So we'll fly this thing on a heading right now because I've got to be above 10,000 feet to pass Clipper, which is might take me a bit of time to climb. Right, we'll get autopilot in straight away now so it can focus on its heading. There we go, we're in the air. So off go the runway turn-offs. We'll let the speed climb up, and as it starts climbing up, we'll...
Flaps 1.
Okay, flaps 1. So yeah, it recommends heading out like this, and then...
Flaps up.
Flaps up. It recommends heading out this way on the chart, and then once... And then, I guess, just vectoring ourselves to Clipper, really, because I can't really do it any other way.
You'll be earning valuable miles on your flight today. If you're not a member, please visit us at Q-Link Standby.
There we go.
Just a few minutes, we will be
We're up in the air, guys. And then I'll put this into 10 nautical mile range, and I'll tell it to go direct to Clipper, so I can see how far away we are. But obviously it'll still stay on heading select mode. So this thing's probably going to try and climb quite hard. We're only 5 miles away from Clipper at the moment, so I don't want to go mad yet. Right, I don't know why this thing is suddenly just stopped climbing. Why have you stopped climbing, plane? Why has the plane stopped climbing? Hello? Plane, you need to climb some more. Okay. I think this is the time to start vectoring us back to Clipper, maybe, because the plane doesn't want... Right, let's get vertical speed in then. Plus 2,000. Plus 2,200 on there. So this is what happens when you don't have ATC for vectors. You have to do all this. There we go. It's climbing again. It knows what it's doing. And then we've got to do this up to 10,000, and then the plane will be able to take care of itself. My plane's left the chart area, so I'll have to try and get ourselves back on. Right, round to heading of 140, I guess. We'll just keep turning round, because we're actually 9 miles from Clipper now, which will give us plenty of time to do things properly. And then when I can start to see Clipper again, I'll get the LNAV back in, because we are approaching 10,000 now, which is okay. It seems as if it's deleted the altitude albeit for Clipper anyway, although it's still on the chart, so I'm still following it. Right, and then we'll get our heading set round to about 060, which is the opposite heading to what we took off on, so it should be okay. And we are approaching 10,000 as well, so it seems as if we've managed this pretty well. We'll slow down the climb now a bit, we're doing pretty good. And then we'll get the heading set round to that, 040, and that'll get us aligned with Clipper, ready for the start of the departure then. And we are slowly closing up to 2,000 as well. There we go, we're pretty much in line there with Clipper. Get the heading change, there we go, 030. And there we go, that is myself vectoring myself. Oh, there we go. That's what happens when you don't have ATC. It's not a big problem, it's quite fun. It's very good fun, actually. Add something interesting to the flight sim. Right, off goes the line of lights now, passing 10,000 feet. Okay, LNAV and VNAV can come back in now. And hopefully this thing will follow what it's meant to be doing. Cool, Cool, and this thing can now start following a proper VNAV path. And proper speed path. Cool. Well, there we go. Not bad. For my own vectoring, there we go. Couldn't have been much better, that. Put that to 40 nautical mile range and we'll let the plane handle itself from here. And then after Coop, there are no longer any restrictions, and Coop is above 15,000 as well, so it's not even that much of a restriction. And there we go, we are now in line with our arrival finally. No, not arrival, departure. Heading to Kegs. Why is this thing trying to turn us like on this weird path? Hello, plane. It's being weird. They go, we'll take out the autopilot. It's being a bit strange. There we go. We'll redirect Kegs again, and then that seems to have fixed the bug.
Autopilot on.
There we go.
Autopilot in command.
This thing now knows what it's doing. We can't be above flight level 190 until after Kegs, and then Coop obviously we just need to be above 150, so it's not really any issue. What's up with the climb on this thing? Like, it's really like limiting its own climb speed. Like, there's no restrictions anymore, plane. You can still climb, plane. See, that scenery literally looks no different. Like, seriously, I turned down the resolution like mad, and it just looks the same rubbishy FSX scenery with a few buildings, and yet my memory, that's gone down by quite a lot. You know, so it's a bit of an odd one. There we go. Right, plane, are you going to start climbing or what? I'm not even above 13,000 yet. I don't really know what's wrong with this plane right now. It's being a bit old. Is it waiting until the last second to start climbing? There you go. There you go. I disabled VNAV, put VNAV back in, and that seems to have fixed it. Or not. Oh! Oh! No! I've realised what I've done wrong. Don't! No! Oh, I'm such a moron. There we go. That's what I forgot. Oh dear. Silly, silly me. Right, execute that. Excuse me. Excuse me for that. That's why it was totally broken. Well, there we go. Excuse me for being a moron. We'll just ignore that. I think what it is, I've normally set that to cruise altitude once I've done it, so I was like, oh, set cruise out. Oh, wow. Well, there we go. We'll ignore that. Just forget that happened. Everyone makes mistakes. There we go. That solved the issue. Right, come on, plane. Actually start climbing properly now. And now I've told what cost index to use. It's like, okay. It's actually doing something properly now. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, we forgot the one crucial part there of flight simulator. Put those things in the just basically tell it what cruise altitude is more than anything. It's like the most important. It's where you spend most of your flight. Cruise. Well, there we go. There we go. We're doing it now. We're good. This thing has continued the climb now. Wow. Yeah. That's why I wasn't climbing. I didn't know what to do. Right, let's go ahead and get the seatbelts into the auto position now. Whether it or on traffic's on, yeah, I don't know. That was a bit of a oops. But never mind. We're good. We're okay. Nothing happened. No problems occurred. See, that scenery literally looks no different. Seriously. It looks no different. I don't know. That's what I was saying. I think the default FSX scenery is so bad that even when you turn it down, it just looks the same. I'd love to do a before and after though, because it does literally look the same. Like it's always looked like that. Anyway. Maybe the mountains are a bit more pixely, but I don't know. As I said, the scenery is not my main priority. My main priority with Flight Sim is the plane. I like the plane. You know, the plane is what I spend all my money on, and it's the plane that I want to learn how to fly. Like, in real life, you become a pilot by flying a plane, not by looking at scenery. The plane's the best bit. Right, coming up to 18,000, set standard pressure. We're basically in standard pressure anyway, but never mind. And there we are. This plane's actually climbing now because I set a cruise altitude that I was meant to set earlier. Today on this flight as well, the SID and the start are actually massive, so we're spending a very little amount of time en route today. I said right now in Denver we are applying the 3 falls. The weather is currently 280, so that's 6 away from the 3 falls. That's perfect weather. As long as it's not too strong, because remember in Brisbane we had the crosswind. It's only 6 knots. In Brisbane we had a 6 knot wind on final, and it blew us off the runway. I watched it back and I was like, what? Yeah, couldn't believe that. I still can't believe, you know, how that even happened. Pretty amazing, that. Pretty shocking. Also today is the first time in ages I haven't seen Minneapolis Centre online, so that makes me worried, because next week we are actually going to be flying over to Minneapolis. I think it's next Thursday actually. We'll be flying from Denver onwards to Minneapolis in the 737. Next week we're just flying the 737, obviously this week, you know, I'm basically 787 out now. I've flown the 787 so many times this week. That explains when we looked at this we had no path. I feel like such a moron. It's like, hang a minute, this was obvious. Never mind, it's my own fault. There we go. I wish Flight Sim Best, you know, the YouTube channel that compile like all the clips for Twitch streamers. I wish they did YouTube streamers, because you'd find some right funny things on my channel. Oh dear. Or maybe I got in contact with them to see if they could do YouTube streaming, because I'd love that. They might outrate the popularity of the streams a bit as well. I don't know, I'll see if I can email them. But yeah, it'd be interesting if I could. Right, passing 24,000 feet now. So we've got about 17,000 feet to head up to 41,000. This flight to me is going to feel so short. Yesterday I literally spent 7 hours and 3 minutes in the air, and I was there the whole time. I know that sounds really crazy. Now, I probably will do future long flights, but I'm not going to stream them. I might have a plan to record them, and then just put music over the top. I won't talk, I'll just put some music over the top. Maybe. I'll see what goes wrong, like, and that'll just be recording and landing. No, just be takeoff and landing, because there's no point streaming a 7-hour flight, because it'll be so boring. I mean, I could split the stream into 2 parts, that's what a lot of streamers do, but I can't talk for that long. You know, I quite enjoyed, I ate lunch in the cockpit, and I had quite a nice day. It was tiring at the end of it, but, oh yeah, man, I had to take out at the end of it, very nice. Kebab. Yeah, very nice day that was, but yeah, streaming it would mean a whole lot more craziness. I think it would be a bit more like, oh, you know, talking for 2.5 hours is fine. Talking for 7 hours, no, just no, it's not happening. So I might do those events, and when I do those events, of course, there will be no stream on the Saturdays. So obviously when I go back to the fact that I can't do these Sunday streams, again, I used to do things on Sunday morning, they're not happening right now, so I'm streaming on Sunday morning, and Thursday afternoon, again, normally I'll be busy on a Thursday afternoon, so there's 2 streams that I do currently that I wouldn't be able to do, so my streaming would drop down to a minimum if I was to do those events like every 2 weeks, so I'd only stream every 2 weeks, which I don't really want. Yeah, I mean really, I quite like streaming 2 or 3 times a week, but obviously that's not going to happen after everything goes back to normal, sadly. Because I am really enjoying it. See, I flew over desert yesterday, okay, over Saudi Arabia. It looked like this. Exactly like this. And I don't get it. Although I was using about 78% memory back then. I'm using a lot less now. I'm using 64. And I took off from Las Vegas, that's the point, and then it drops to 62 once I'm back in the cockpit and everything's loaded in. But yeah, it looks nice out though. I mean, I flew the Topa Sky on Thursday. It has been a 787 week for me. I've flown a 787 all week, only 2 of which of course were on stream, but oh yeah, I am 787'd out. I've flown a lot of this plane. I'll probably fly it soon though. I do love this plane. Any long haul flights will definitely be done in this thing. I learnt it is crazy quick. I actually overtook 2 planes on my way on that flight yesterday. It was amazing. This plane is quick, to tell you that. It's a very quick plane. And I was only using a cost index of 250 as well, which is like the standard cost index for this thing. For the Dash 8 it's 250, and then for the Dash 9 you use 360 with Fly UK. 360 obviously is a little bit higher, because basically it says 25 and 36, but I'm guessing because of the 100 system, you just add a 0 on the end of it. That's how I've worked it out, so... I don't know, the manual uses recommends using 200 to 300 cost index, is what they typically use, or maybe 200 to 250, something like that, is what the manual recommends. Because this thing is quite hard to slow down. I've always known that. It is very difficult to slow down. This plane, once you're sort of descending and all the rest of it, but it's okay. As long as you take manual control of a lot of things, it's okay. So yeah, right now, we currently have no ATC or anything. There is nothing heading for Denver right now, apart from 1 plane from Los Angeles that's already on the ground, so I am literally the only person currently heading to Denver, so I'm going to have Denver Airport to myself, basically. So it shouldn't really matter what runway I end up using. Who knows, maybe we'll have some ATC, but not looking likely right now. The problem is, like, I think it's going to be about 4 AM in Denver when we land. Like, no one's online at 4 AM. That's kind of the biggest problem. Who's online at 4 AM? Seriously. No one does ATC at 4 AM. It's quite nice out there. We're heading to Denver. We've got 674 miles left to run, so how long's that? About an hour and 20 minutes-ish. Estimated flight time was an hour and 41. We should have a few tailwinds on today's flight. However, right now, we haven't got that. We're still on our departure, believe it or not. That's how it is in America. Like, the departures from airports are absolutely massive. Like, our SID doesn't end until Las Vegas VOR. It's just not. And then our SID starts at bump. Like, literally, the entire flight pretty much is just a SID and a start, despite the fact that this flight is so long. It's not. Right, I'll have a look. Actually, no, once we're in the air, I'll have a look at our sort of planned sort of descents, like sort of restrictions for Denver, and we'll plan our arrival as well, but yeah. And Oakland Centre just came on offline. They were next to us. We wouldn't have got any ATC from them, but yeah. We're just passing throughout Las Vegas Centre and Denver Centre today. And as always, the US is basically empty when it comes to ATC right now. I mean, literally, Boston Centre's online, and that's it. That is the only centre online in the entirety of the USA, or Canada for that matter. So yeah, I don't know why I bother flying in the US really. I know it's quite cool, but without it, you never get ATC. Like, there's literally a 0% chance of getting ATC. So maybe, and the only reason I do it is because I do stream 2 or 3 times a week. If I went back to streaming once a week, I wouldn't fly in the US anymore. I'd prioritise the UK and Europe, because that's where all the controllers are, and also where the ATC sort of procedures seem to make a bit more sense. Honestly, I mean, like, they require vectors over here, a lot of them. I don't think our arrival requires vectors though. No. But obviously our departure did, and without ATC, it's like, well, it's a bit chaotic. I don't mind managing the plane myself though. Good fun. It's always great fun. It's what I signed up to flight sim for, flying a plane. That's why you do flight simming. Yeah, it looks very desert-like out there. A few towns. The towns, I think, are a lower resolution. But again, like, actually that town's terrible. I think that town's actually out of render distance, look. Because if you look at that town, oh there you go, it just loaded in fully, never mind, it's about the same now. I was going to say it's lower resolution than normal because maybe it's because of the settings, but it isn't, it's just because it was out of render distance, then it goes back to looking like it did before. Well, whatever it is, it does seem to have affected the memory in a positive way. However, maybe the bad memory, I am wondering, is because I had to reload the flight sim yesterday. I did have to respawn my plane, so maybe reloading into the flight sim was what whacked the memory up to 75%. I was going to say, it's never normally that high, like, right from the off. Even with 20 planes. Like, I've flown into... Actually, I've never flown into a busy airport. Oh, no, I've flown into Heathrow with this. I think that it only hit, like, 70%, didn't it? And there were 10, 15 planes on the ground in Heathrow, and I was using the UK 2000 scenery as well, so... Saying that, yeah, it must be the fact I reloaded the flight sim thinking about it, maybe. Is what caused it. Because obviously I didn't quit the flight sim, that's one important thing. I didn't close it, I just went back into the menu, then loaded it in again, so maybe it didn't delete the cache from the previous time. So that meant it duplicated things like the plane. And according to PNDG, planes often take up about 700 to 800 meg of this data, and then the rest of it's the game. But yeah, I don't know, I am going to be like focused on this now forever, after that long flight. There is another long flight in 2 weeks. I'm not going from Paris to Dubai. I might take part in it, I might not, I don't know yet, but in 3 weeks time we are taking part in Singapore Real Ops, and that will be a shorter flight that I can stream. So, you know, I've already scheduled that stream, but that should be great fun in 3 weeks time. Also, one important thing to note, the stream will be starting at 9 AM rather than 8:30 AM on the Saturday, June 13th, that is. It's starting at 9 AM because we have a set slot time into Singapore of 11:30, and we're flying from Ho Chi Minh into Singapore. Total coincidence that obviously we finished up in Ho Chi Minh last time, and then we finished, you know, it's total coincidence. I was looking like what flight between 10 and half 10 can I do that's roughly 2 hours long, and that flight popped up. You know, we're flying with a Jet Asia A320, so that'll be interesting. Never flown Jet Asia. I think they're called Jetstar Asia. I think their call sign is also just Jetstar Asia, or maybe it's Jet Asia. I'm not sure. I did look. Right, we're almost at cruise here. This thing's deciding to cruise like it's doing my Airbus climb now. Hello, like 400 feet per minute. Just crawling. And after Las Vegas, we jump on our route then. Yeah, all the way up here at 410. It's honestly, this plane though, the texture quality of this plane is so good. It's absolutely nuts. Right, I think I'm going to try and show you guys the screenshot I got. Like last week. No, not last week, last night. If I can find it. I want to show you guys this. There you go, that's it there. I mean, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So beautiful. Well, that's the best FSX I think it's ever looked. And if you look at the texture on the ground, it's about the same, even though I've turned down the settings. Right, look at before and after. Obviously, this is in the dark, but the actual scenery looks about the same. Obviously, it's at night, so you can't tell quite as well, but honestly, it looks so good. That did. I was absolutely amazed by that. It looks so awesome. It was a cool flight, that. A very cool flight. I had awesome fun, is one thing I will say. Right, we're almost at 41,000 feet. And then I'll start planning our arrival. Weather in Denver, I believe, is hourly. Yes, so we'll get... It's hourly on... It's that one of those weird weather stations that refreshes at 53. Like, how random is that? And... yeah, so we've got... so the new weather will probably be in about 40 minutes time or something. That'll be the weather that we use to fly into Denver with. Right, also I discovered you can pin charts on Navigraph that makes sort of swapping charts a lot easier. So I'll do that now for all the charts we're using. So the Siskill, is it maybe Siski or Siskill? Siskill. I don't know. I don't know whether they're L's or I's. And then it'll be the airport chart I want. And then probably parking gates. However, I'll leave them for now. And then the approach, which is 34 left. We're using, there we go, 34 left, ILS. Cool. We have our approach. And then, yeah, taxi charts, I'll have a look at that later, I guess. So, looking at the arrival straight away, we're coming in from Bump. That is never going to stop making me laugh. Right, so from Bump, it needs to be above 270 at Basin. And then we head to Kitu, to Siskill, where we need to, or Siski, I don't know, where we need, I think it's an I, it's a capital I, I'm looking now, so it's Siski, where we need to be above flight level 200, and then at, I don't know what that is, Bugdi, it's probably short for something, but I can't pronounce that, above 17,000 below, 210 at 250 knots. This is one thing that this plane always misses out, is that key speed restriction. It often misses out the speed restrictions. Right, set that. Okay, that'll probably knock back our that a little bit. And then we head to, I believe we're going to be heading to Crag, yes. We're going to be at 210 knots. And at 13,000. That's 13,000 parts already in there. And then to Null, where we need to be above 12,000. And then we head to Teller, where we need to be at 210 and 11,000. There. And then we head into Alpine, which is actually on the arrival then, because we are taking the transition from Teller. There we go, Teller. That's 210 knots, mandatory 11,000, into Alpine, where we've got to be at 10,500, then 10,000 to Cog, and then to Caller, to Merkel, which is then on the final, to Ronald. Why does that say hold at rate? Maybe that's because we can hold there. And then we head into winter. And then finally the arrival. Now, minimums for this approach are going to be... we are Cat 1. Let's say anywhere. There's always mixed around the charts somewhere. I can't see the minimums, actually, because of the pinned tab that's on there. There we go. I can see it now. Rep. I don't want the smart cars client. Where is the minimum? Seriously, I can't see it. There's no said minimums. Here we go. Here it is. Cat 1. Straight in landing, runway 34 left. Decision altitude is 200 feet above altitude. And it is at a Barrow, because it's a very high airport, this, of 5527, so 5530. Oh boy. Right, there we go. That should be better, right? Just keep right clicking until it eventually... You know what, I'll scroll up. This is a nightmare. Come on. Imagine doing this in the Boeing 737, though. Honestly, if I had to do this in the Boeing 737, I'd just set 200 feet radio altitude and be done with it. I couldn't be bothered to put in all this. I wish you could just enter it like in the Airbus. It makes life easier for you. Because in the Airbus, you can just, like, literally go into the FMC and enter the Barrow like that. You don't have to bother waiting for ages for this thing to, like, get up to the correct number. I'm just glad this thing does it in tens. If we were in the Boeing 737 right now, I'd just enter in the radio altitude, I would. I'd give up with that. It's a very high airport, Denver. So Barrow is 5530. There we go. Got there in the end. Right, and then it's quite a long runway, I believe, so we should be good for a flaps 30 and all that. With a fairly good arrival. Let's have a look at performance then. So show landing. Copy FMC data. It is dry. We'll reset the wind now as well. So the winds are 280 at 6 knots. It is 10 degrees outside in Denver. QNH 1015, because obviously this thing uses QNH. It doesn't use the 29902 method of it. Anti-ice off, reverses no credit. Auto brakes 2 properly. Calculate that. We have a landing distance towards a long runway, 16,000 feet. So it's going to be auto brakes 1 today. I rarely use auto brakes 1, but 16,000 feet, that is a long runway, so we should be fine for auto brakes 1 today. So I'll go ahead and send output, send to FMC. Accept that. There we go. This thing's just turned. We're getting a slight headwind, but not a massive amount. Cool. That is that then. That is everything plugged in for our arrival. Let's have a look at the taxi chart then. So we're landing on 34 left, hopefully. That's what I planned, right? Yeah, 34 left. That's the long runway. And we'll probably vacate. That chart is slightly off, actually. Okay. What? I think there is a slight... The chart is like in 2 parts. Oh, there we go. I found it. So it gives you more info about the terminals. Okay, so we're going to be landing on 34 left. Probably vacate somewhere around Delta 6 maybe. And then head down Whiskey Charlie, cross 34 right. And then we'll probably park in Concourse... maybe Concourse C. It's the closest one to the runways. Maybe Concourse C. Let's have a look at our... Where are the big gates? Where do all the big ones park? If I look at that. So, A, we've got just a ton of big A gates. And then B, got B gates. And then C, obviously got C gates. So, I don't know. I'll leave them for now. I'll decide once I get to Denver and look at the size of the airports, I think is probably more important, but there we go. Anyway, that's everything set up for our arrival then. How long we've got to cruise now? Oh, it's only 390 miles. So not long. As I said, I'm used to doing 7-hour flights now, so it's like, nah. Is that water down there? I think it's water. It's a bit of an odd colour of water, but it's water. I didn't change any water settings, I don't believe. Yeah, those towns, like, they're slightly less resolution. They're slightly lower resolution, but as I said, I don't really mind. It's worth the lower memory. You know, to save the sim from crashing, I don't care. The scenery was so bad originally, I couldn't care less what it looks like now, really. I'm at that point. It matters a lot more to me what the plane is like, personally. I don't want to turn down, and that's the thing, the global texture resolution I didn't turn down. That's because I don't want the plane to suffer. I want to have a good quality plane. That's the only thing that matters to me, really, in this game. The one I want to have up-to-date scenery. I want to have a good quality plane. Anything else, I'm easy. As I say, it's the plane that matters. You know, I could have all the greatest scenery in the world, but I could only fly a 737 that came default with FSX, which is rubbish. And you can't fly SIDS or stars with it. You can't really do anything with it at all. So, and it looks terrible. You know, how are you supposed to learn how to fly on that? You know, I mean, if I went into a real-life 737 cockpit and I thought I could fly a 737 off the default FSX plane, no chance. They are no different. No, they're completely different. I mean, the 737 doesn't have a proper FMC. It doesn't have... I don't think it has a really functioning APU. It doesn't really have... It doesn't even have functioning fuel pumps. You can have the fuel pumps off and the engines will still start. The IRSs don't really do anything. There's no proper displays. There's no electronic flight pack. I can go on and on about the things that it has that the real 737... No. The real 737 has and the one doesn't have. I can go on and on forever, really, so I won't. Yeah, right now I've been in the air for about half hour. No, kind of 40 minutes. Well, that's gone quick. Cruising at a fairly good speed here. Not bad. We're pretty much going direct to Denver, really. Direct to Denver's 508 miles. We've got 524 to go. It's pretty much similar. Let's have a look at our arrival into Denver now as well. So it's quite a simple arrival. We just sort of head in and then turn on to final, basically. It's quite a nice arrival in terms of what we're doing. Quite nice, quite easily laid out. So yeah, we're basically heading straight to Denver from here. It's not bad. It's a pretty nice arrival, pretty nice route today. Denver's got it sorted out. But yeah, currently there's nothing heading for Denver at all. So it's going to be totally empty when we get down there. So no need to advise anything on Unicom. Or anything. It's just like... we've got Denver to ourselves, basically. To sum it up. Getting rocked around a bit here. Way. Turbulence isn't too bad, but the weather radar on this thing, I'm honestly not sure if it even works properly. The way I set it up, at least. Right, weather radar quality wings. Well, if I put 787 in there, that'll probably get me a better. There we go. Because it honestly doesn't really seem to do anything. Like, it really doesn't seem to do much. apparently it's not. Right, how do you resolve it? Let's have a look. That's not the 787 or whatever. We have actually got a built-in weather radar. However, it should be shift 9. It should be assigned to shift 9. It isn't, so... Oh well. Oh well. We haven't got that then. So we're up here at 41,000 feet. Getting jumped around a little bit. Doing pretty good here. We're actually coming up to our arrival. Actually, no, it's still quite a while away. And then we'll start descending shortly after that. We are getting a little bit of turbulence at the moment. I love that you can do that though, because it's like to sort of switch ATC frequencies. It's very handy because you can do it while you're taxiing and things. And it's nice, there's a little button there, look. A little mic button. It's very helpful. This plane is full of like little thoughtful touches like that, and I am a fan of that, I've got to say. It's very good. Yeah, I think this week I have been a bit flight sim mad, maybe. Spending all my time on flight sim, you know. Because you can see here, look, 714 hours I have on this game. A lot of them in the past 2 weeks because of yesterday. Yesterday I think I spent about probably 8 hours, 8.5 maybe on the flight sim in all. Because as I said, I had to restart, remember. That's what I think caused the high memory as well. The fact that I had to restart. Like today, the memory has been between what, 60 and 65%. Yesterday, it started at 75. Started. So you know, there's no, and I've got quite a few clouds in the area. So there's no. I mean, there's 2 planes on the ground at Las Vegas, so they'll probably be in my sim. There's a BA in the area, so that'll probably be on my sim as well. So there's like at least 3 planes in the area plus me. So it's not like it's not loading in anybody. And I'm streaming as well. I mean, I don't think the streaming actually impacts on virtual memory, actually. It's only within the sim that this is a thing. It has nothing to do with my computer. That's the problem with this, is it has nothing to do with my computer, this memory. It's limited to 4 gig because it's a 32-bit program. But as I said, I think, you know, when the new FSX comes out, it'll be a perfect time for me to upgrade. So I'll probably just get that. You know, I was thinking last night, maybe, you know, what's the point of investing loads of money into, you know, a brand new P3D version 5 with new planes, when I'm pretty sure Microsoft Flight Sim will be better anyway, and it's going to come with, hopefully, quite detailed planes. So, you know, I'll just go for that. I'll have to wait and see how they integrate Vatsim into the new FSX. It's one thing I'll be very interested in, is how they're going to do that. But once I get Vatsim up and running in a decent way, I'll be happy to go on to the new FSX. But for now, we're sticking with this game. I mean, you know, it rarely crashes on me. Rarely. I mean, it has before, but that was that was the right click problem. That was a weird one, actually. But yeah, so far we're doing okay, so I'll just have to live with it, you know. But you know, I actually really love this game as well. It's, you know, as you can see, I've spent way too many hours on it, probably. You know, that's my opinion anyway. I'm pretty sure I have spent way too many hours on this game. Really, I mean, 700 and something. Like, it's quite a few. It's quite a few. But yeah, it shows how much I like the game. So, listen, anyone playing Flight Sim right now, you know, if you still have FSX, it's still good. I mean, as I say, if I was to switch Flight Sim, I'd probably go in the P3D direction. But again, X-Plane does have the Zebo. I think the X-Plane having Zebo, the Zebo 737, really improves its popularity. The fact that you can get such a good plane, I've seen people fly it, and it is just like the PMDG, pretty much, in terms of its quality. It even has an electronic flight bag in it as well. And the fact that you can get that free is amazing. Because some people don't want to spend £60 on their flight sim just to fly a decent plane. Why would you want to do that for some, you know, I've spent quite a bit on it, but I've got good use out of these add-ons, to be fair. Because I do wonder, like, you know, the amount of time I've spent on this quality wings compared to the money. Like, how much does it cost per hour, this plane, now? Right, because I've probably flown, I don't know how many hours, but I've probably flown a lot of hours in this plane now. Even though I only got it, like, what, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. I have done a fair amount of flights in it, most of which were on stream. I think I've only done 3 flights off stream in this thing, and then plus the event, so 4, I guess. 4 flights off stream, 3 of which were just the training flight. Did a few training flights in it offline to make sure I knew how to fly it. Because I don't want the first flight of a plane to be on stream, because it'll just go wrong. So the next plane I'm thinking about is the PMDG 777. That's definitely the next plane I'm going to look at for this sim. But honestly, I think this might be, I think it is my favourite plane for Flight Sim mess. It's a great plane. And we've got plenty more routes as well. Unfortunately, Metro Air, Fly UK's sort of franchise partner, they have massively discontinued the amount of flights that I can do as a Fly UK pilot for them. So that the Hanoi Ho Chi Minh service, we can't do that anymore. So that's one less route I can do in this thing. But we've still got a few summer holiday flights I want to do in this thing, and there's plenty around Australia. There's Brisbane to Cairns, which I haven't done. There's Wellington to Christchurch. I think also Auckland to Wellington. So there's another 2 I would like to do. But I think you know, give it 2 weeks. I think I would like to do another one of those summer holiday flights out of Gatwick. But I can only do them actually on Sundays. I can't do them on any other day. I think it's Ibiza or Alicante. I'll probably do Ibiza because I've never actually been to Ibiza in the sim. I've been to Alicante before, not on stream, but I've been there. I'll probably do some flying around Spain again, like Palma to Madrid, Madrid to like. I've got to fly into Oviedo on stream because I flew into there off stream and it was great fun. It's a good airport. It's quite similar approaches to Bilbao, and the scenery is wonderful there. Right, we should get some updated weather on Denver in the next 15 minutes now. No ATC. None expected, really. I mean, right now in the US, it's still just Boston Center. I'm not even sure if they are online. Maybe they are. They've been online for 7 hours and 50 minutes, though. That's a long time to control. Like, a very long time. I always wonder when centres are online for that long, are they seriously online still? Or are they just, like, AFK? No, they're keeping the ATIS up, never mind. Honestly, I'm like, what? It's absolutely mad. How can you be online for that long? Well, I've got 2 waypoints that are for some reason right next to each other here on this airway. We're just flying above the nice deserts for now. Bit of greenery over there. And obviously Denver is a lot higher. It's quite a high airport, as we saw. So that'll be the equivalent of us descending from 36,000 feet rather than 41. Yeah, everything's all set up for landing now. We've got, obviously, the ILS will tune itself and all that. It was a pretty good landing into Dubai last night as well. I mean, obviously I didn't have an FPM counter or anything, but it felt pretty good. So, that was nice. Right, so this plane, actually, we are transitioning into a bit of a headwind here, that's kind of nice. But in the air, 51 minutes, we're descending in 250 miles still, so still about half hour yet we've got in the air, so not bad. Not bad at all. And we'll be on the ground before the next lot of weather's revealed, so... I've only just noticed now that I'm actually flying the correct Zulu time, but 12 hours ahead, like as in PM versus instead of AM. That's quite funny. I should just do that every time now. If it's dark, I'll just refresh. Because that means, say they ask me, where are you due? I'll just say, oh, it's like 9:38, but it's 9:38 AM Zulu rather than. That's quite nice, and it's quite easy to plan the flights that way as well, because it means I know what time I'm going to be on the ground in real time, rather than just telling to sort of calculate it, which I don't often do. That's pretty nice. Looks quite nice down there. Just sand, really. There's a few cliffs and some water, I think that is. It's a river. I can zoom in. I might be able to see what river it is. The Escalante River is one of the branches. Lake Powell as well. I don't know. I'm not from the US, so I wouldn't really know any of those, but it seems as if it's somewhere around there. The Colorado River. That might be what it is as well. I think that other one's a bit of a branch off. So it's the Colorado River, and then it sort of splits into Lake Powell. And then from there, there's like the Escalante River, and then there's sort of further little splits as well, so it's a bit of a mix. But yeah, let's just say it's the Colorado River. At least, like, those parts of it, that's the Colorado River there. And then this is Lake Powell, and then it sort of splits, look. Yeah, what, the scenery? You're talking about the scenery? Because the scenery doesn't look, I don't know, it has its own unique look, I guess. But yeah. We've got 13 nautical miles to go to Dicey, and then from there it's directly Bump, where we start our arrival. I think we're going to be descending around a basin. Is that what that's called? Maybe somewhere around there we'll be descending. 220 miles. So still, you know, it's amazing actually how this flight feels quite long. And I'm like, hang on a minute, we're only an hour in. I did 7 hours yesterday. I don't know. I think I'm a bit mad for doing that, but it's great fun. So that's all that counts, I guess, isn't it? And there were plenty of other people doing it, so that's what I tell myself. I'm like, loads of people doing it, so it's not unusual. It was an interesting event because I could have done Palma to Olbia, which would have been something I could have streamed, but in the end I thought, nah, I'm going for my first long flight. It's the first long haul I've ever done. I wouldn't consider doing a long haul longer than about 7 hours though. I really don't want anything longer than 8, and without ATC it would get super boring as well. Like, that's what was kind of nice. I had ATC pretty much the whole flight, apart from a few small exceptions. So that was good fun. Right, this thing is going to Bump now, 122 miles. Seriously, why is it called Bump? Why? Just the fact that they've called it, that just makes me laugh a little bit. Like, it's a pretty random name for a waypoint. But never mind. Also, the channel's up to 75 subs, by the way. I'm very happy by that. It's made me very happy. The fact that, you know, I can see my channel growing. I've gained like about, what, 9 subs now in the last month and a bit. It's not bad. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's very good for this channel. I hope everyone who watches enjoys the content, so yeah, we're all good. Seatbelts are on auto. Everything's all good up there. We're looking. I don't know. I was looking at landing with about 7,000 kilos of fuel in there to buy. I did get a few shortcuts, but yeah, so we're not using. That's why we use sim briefs. We're not. I don't know. We're not taking a particularly massive amount of reserve fuel. However, maybe what it is. Where's our? Because what it could. Because the way sim brief calculates fuel. It calculates your flight, then 15 minutes extra on top of your flight. Then it calculates distance to alternate, and then 30 minutes holding. That's how it calculates your fuel. So the amount of fuel generally is the same for every flight, apart from, I meant the amount of fuel you're going to land with is the same. The only thing that can change it, basically, because obviously 15 minutes of fuel, same for each type of plane. You know, the 787 has a set amount of fuel that it'll use in 15 minutes, according to SimBrief. Same with the half-hour contingency fuel. But it's the alternate airport distance. So if our alternate airport is very close, we'll land with less fuel. Quite simple. And our alternate is actually quite close. Our alternate is Colorado Springs today. However, I doubt we're going to need an alternate today. Or at least we shouldn't. Because the weather in Denver is looking pretty nice. It is partly cloudy. We've got a few at 10,000. Scattered at 15,000. About what we can see now, really. It's just partly cloudy, not thick cloud. QNH down there is 2.9 and 9.6. That is not the newest weather. We're going to get some new weather through in about, well, 5 minutes, I should think. Normally it takes about 15 minutes to come through. It should have come through 7 minutes ago. I'll have a look on the Meta, because we might get... The Meta, does that have... No, the Meta doesn't have the new weather either, so... Nothing crazy. yeah, we're currently over the middle of Denver. There's absolutely nothing currently heading for Denver, so, you know, I've basically got Denver to myself, which is quite nice. This plane does look nice, though. I love how the plane looks. It's great. One thing I have noticed, why is this saying we're at 40,990 feet, and this is saying we're like, I don't know, we are slightly below 41,000, I think, but only by a teeny bit, so it's like, not really doing anything about it. I don't know, it's probably like a pressure change thing, maybe. Who knows? I'm just waiting for the new weather on Denver, still. Got a bit of time to wait for that. The memory for the flight has been pretty good, still around the 65 to 63 area that it was staying at earlier, so... Yeah, I don't know, maybe memory was just a problem yesterday because of how I had to reload the flights and then, well, that's been out. We've got 318 miles left to Denver, we've got 165 miles left till the top of the descent. We've planned our arrival, waiting on the weather still, I think. Yep. The weather should have come out 9 minutes ago, but there's always about a 15-minute delay on active sky, so... Well, oh, there we go, we've got the new weather through on the Meta, so winds are 240 at 3 knots, and clouds, we've got a few at 10,000, a few at 15,000, altimeter 2,997. Okay, let's get the altimeter tuned. There we go, 2,998, that's the closest we can have. It jumps in 0.3 on this plane. And 240 at 3 knots. Right, 240. Let's have a look at the airport. So that's 10 knots away from the 3-4s. We could use runway 25. However, it's... How long is it? It's actually quite a long runway still. So we could potentially use 25. However, it's quite far. If we were to use 25, it's a very long taxi. Then, I think we're going to stick with our original plan and use 3-4. 3-4 left, which is the longest runway at Denver. The others are 12,000 feet, which is still good, but 3-4 left is 16,000 feet. It's just very nice. We could also use runway 26, that would be a bit of a shorter taxi. We could potentially use, but you know, I think we're going to stick with the 3-4 left today, I think. It'll be a bit of a crosswind, but so there's nothing else flying to Denver, so who even cares at this point if we're using the right runway? There's nothing flying into Denver. We've got Denver to ourselves. I think there is actually a plane at Denver on the ground with the wrong... It's got the wrong, like, flight plan. It thinks... Basically, it's got the right route in place, but for whatever reason, it thinks it's going... Vatsim thinks it's going from Schiphol to Barcelona, which obviously it isn't. Hopefully they can get their... that sorted. And they're taking the Cause 6 departure. So if I can look at that, the Cause 6, that should tell me what runways it uses. So that means they've got the Cause 6. Oh, it literally uses, okay, it uses all the runways. Okay, well, you can't tell that then. It's not, again, the US, that's how it works often. Like every runway, every star generally leads to the same runway. I'll have to wait and see if they put anything on Unicom then. But in terms of the main set of runways, 3-4s, it is closer to the 3-4s. So that's what I'm going to use, because I want to use the main runways. Yeah, Denver's a massive airport. there'll be a memory test. If the memory goes up really high, then I'll be able to prove, you know, it wasn't just something that happened 2 days, like yesterday. It'll be consistent. Because, I mean, Denver looks like a busier airport than Dubai even, you know, and when I landed at Dubai, I think there were only about 6 planes on the ground. It wasn't massively busy, really. It could have been busier, put it that way. I was one of the first planes out of Lisbon in the event, and then my quick 787 allowed me to overtake 2 more, so in the end I think I was like the 4th or 5th plane landing in Dubai, maybe even the 3rd plane landing in Dubai, and then there was like 2 departing or something. It wasn't very busy. So, you know, the fact this busyness wouldn't really have contributed to the memory. I mean, it was dark, so there was tons of night lighting everywhere. I think it was the lighting that would have mainly contributed. Yeah, we're starting our star now in 38 miles. Yeah, that Midwest is a call sign. It hasn't actually... I've learned how to do private chat now as well. Since there's no one else, so yeah, now I've learned how to send private messages. Hopefully they'll get back. You press dot, you full stop, or period as you'd call it in America, key, and then chat, space, and then the call sign, click enter, and it opens a private chat. It's quite nice if you want to chat to like your friends on Vatsim as well. It's quite nice. It's also great for finding out about what runway people are using and things like that. Things like what cruise altitude you're planning, step climbs wise. You know, it's quite helpful for that. But yeah, we'll be descending quite soon, I think. Yeah, 110 miles. This flight has flown by. It's not a massively long flight, about 1 hour and 41, I think we initially planned. It's looking like we've got half hour left. There's a website. Around 9:40 Zulu is our I didn't know there was a website actually. That might be handy. Cool. So everything's all good there then. So yeah, we could use 3-4 right, but I'm in a Boeing 787. I'd rather use the larger runway personally. And I said it doesn't really matter. We're going to be using voice unicom as well, so we'll know what's going on. I'll get our star chart up here so I can see what exactly we're doing, because I'm literally just approaching the start of the star in 10 miles. Yeah, so we started our arrival, so I should see our plane on here. Or not. Not yet. We're approaching, we've just finished, we're on the start of our arrival now. Navigraph still thinks we're outside of the chart bound for that. I don't know, maybe it only starts tracking us from Bowl. Because the first part of it says not in scale, so that could be it. And then we're descending after Bowl. So only 80 miles to descend then, not far. Yeah, I think we're basically on course now. Yep, descending just 70 miles. Doing pretty well with this flight. So it's time, hour and 12 minutes in. So we should have about half hour left, which we do. So the hour and 41 minutes time looking about accurate. It's actually quite cloudy down there. Maybe not fully like sort of thick cloud, but there's at least, I mean, saying that it says few. The weather report says a few clouds. So, interested about what that means. I mean, really, scattered and a few, they're basically the same thing, really, aren't they? Like, there's a few clouds. No, they're scattered clouds. Like, it's a bit... pretty much the same, no? Temperature's 10 degrees right now. So, not... Obviously, it is a little bit cold in Denver, a little bit colder. Thanks to... I mean, a little bit cold thanks to the high altitude, but it's still okay, 10 degrees. We're approaching Snowy? Snowy? Is that what it's called? Oh, rip. Let's put that down by accident. There we go. Everything's all good on the plane for arrival. We're looking at plenty of fuel. We'll have like 5,000 kilos today, so not too bad. We're planning to land with... How much fuel were we planning to land with? We were planning... I need to scroll down to the bottom... We're planning to land with 5.6 kilos, 5,600, so we're a little bit under on the fuel today. I don't know why, probably because of our extended vectors maybe, I don't know, the strange VNAV procedure I had at the start, who knows. Maybe a mix of both. Oh dear. Yeah. Classic Mad Chili moment, that. But after Snowy we should enter the chart bounds roughly after that. Engine's looking fine. This thing, I've also discovered, this thing literally has one cabin light. Obviously it does almost nothing when it's light, but it has like one cabin light and it illuminates everything. It's so nice. So easy when it gets dark in this plane. Just flick one switch and you're done. No need for anything else. Like, that's one thing I don't like about the Boeing 737 is like 4 or 5 different lights you have to turn on. This plane, one light, and you can see just like it's daylight, you know, it's perfect, so pretty crazy. Right, we've just passed Snowy. Next stop is Bowl. We're going to be above 270 at a basin, above 200 at Siski. Siski? I don't know, I still won't be able to pronounce that. Let's put it into Google Translate and see what it makes of it. It's probably going to like come up with something gibberish, because Google Translate's like that, because it's obviously like a robotic thing, so when it sees something that it doesn't understand. So I type
SSKII.
Oh, there we go. It just says SSKII because it can't pronounce it. Why if I put it in caps? Does that change anything?
SSKII.
That's great. It doesn't know, so it just says SSKII. There we go, we'll just say SSKII then. Let's have to pronounce it. Looks nice out there. This livery, oh, that engine pattern. It's my favourite part of this Topa Sky livery. It's so nice, and the little dirt effects but there, and oh, it is a wonderful quality of plane. This. Right, we're approaching top descent now in 20 miles, so I will leave a little thing on here. Okay, then traffic descending. It's about descending right this time. There we go. On flight level 410. What arrival are we using again? The Siski 1. Using ILS 34 left approach. So yeah, descending is coming up in 12 miles now, so we'll go ahead and knock this down to, where's our first sort of altitude that we've got to be exact at? 13,000. And then it's I think it's what, 11,000 for the ILS approach, so we'll set 11,000 in there. We've got no ATC, so you know, just straight down basically. Straight down 30,000 feet, and then we'll be on approach about 5,500 feet above Denver International Airport. It's quite a long approach, obviously quite a long period of final approach today. That's just how it is. And I can see myself on the chart now. So I'll be able to follow progress on the chart there. So we're going to start descending very soon now. Not long. Transition altitude, as always, is 18,000, so no need to change anything. Pretty amazing, that. No need to really change anything. We've got, there you go, there's the next restriction, look.
Ladies and gentlemen, please check that your seatbelt is securely fastened.
There we go, we're just going to start our descent now. Post that on Unicom, and down we go. 150 miles of descent, pretty average. The minimum descent rate today is, well, of course, the altitude we're descending is 41, and then you take away 5 because the airport's at 5,000 feet, so 36 times 3. Minimum is 108 miles today, so perfect for that. Right. Pretty good descent rate then. It's probably going to be not too harsh a descent. By the looks of it, we've got a pretty steady descent rate. I'll go ahead and turn down this so I can see exactly what we're doing. Looks like quite a slow rate of descent at the moment, actually. Also, we have got to be above 270 at a base, and I don't think that's really going to affect us at all. That, I don't know, actually, by the looks of it, our rate of descent will increase after a basin slightly. Right now, we've got quite a relaxed descent rate, about 1,300 feet per minute, something like that. It's enough to keep us descending, though, isn't it? So, doesn't really matter. We can keep cruise speed while we're doing this, I guess, can't we? And the clouds, it is actually fairly cloudy, fairly thick cloud all the way over there, all the way around here, and the memory still 65%, despite, because when I did discover when it got more cloudy, the memory usage did increase, and then it decreased again when the clouds went, so clouds definitely do factor in. So yeah, it's not bad. I'm doing pretty good on the memory side of things. And I've been flying out now for quite a while. I've been on the air an hour and a half almost, so... And we're just cruising along on our star here. Also, I am so glad I got Navigraph charts, so I will be honest, Navigraph charts is probably one of the biggest game changers of this sim. It's really good for the fly I'm doing. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, also I just discovered now, literally all the all the runways apart from the 3-4s and 3-5s need vectors for this approach, so we've chosen the right runway there. I guess so, the other runways at Denver probably aren't used as frequently. Like, it's probably there's 4 main runways, and then you've got 2 little side ones. They're probably like the lesser used ones. So we're passing 36,000 now. We're almost at a basin where I think we are going to increase our rate of descent after Bugdi. It looks like we are going to have quite a sharp descent, possibly. In fact, yeah, between Bugdi and Crag, we've got 22 miles to get from, well, minimum 17,000 down to 13,000, and on top of that, we've also got to be at 250 knots. We've got to go from 250 knots at Bugdi to 210 at Crag, so we might have some issues with that. Yeah, very slow descent right now. Anyway, we've just passed a basin, so it looks like our descent rate is going to speed up a little bit now. We're on course currently low. I love that you get this little thing where you can view like how your descent's going. It's cool. Right, all brakes to the 1 position then. Long runway, so we only need what brakes 1 today. Recall is checked. Upbrake is set. Landing data is set. Approach briefing. Well, there's no audio for an approach briefing. That's quite interesting because there is for a takeoff briefing. Right, that's onto the landing checklist. Back to the ND. We have checked the QNH. It is at 29907 altimeter, but however, obviously this thing has to round it. You have to round this one, so it's a choice of 29908 or 29905. The 8 option being closer, so that's the one we're using today. So it's down to 40 nautical mile range, so I can see US waypoints. It's a fairly long approach here at Denver, but pretty normal. ETA is still about 9:40 Zulu. So about 13 minutes from now, 11 minutes. 13 minutes. That doesn't sound right. So that it never is right, this plane. But this plane's ETA system is great right up until the last 10 minutes of flight, and then it's terrible. I don't know why. But in the last 10 minutes, you realise that the ETA it's given you isn't very good. So the ETA just stays, and then right when you start descending, about this point, I wonder why they're doing the descent checklist at 30,000 now instead of 20. They often do it at 20,000 or whatever. Maybe it's 12,000 above transition altitude. I mean, 12,000 is a random number, but 30,000 is 12,000 above 18,000, and 20,000 is 12,000 above 6,000, which is quite a common transition altitude in Europe. So that makes sense, I guess. Who knows? Hopefully we can avoid some of these clouds. It is pretty cloudy. I mean, I'd say this is more than a few clouds. As we had quite thick clouds into Los Angeles, though. What was it? Last week, I think it was. We did have quite thick clouds, so maybe that's just the normal for few. It just often gets it wrong. I don't know. There are gaps, I guess you could sort of say if there's a few. As I said, few and it's a bit vague. Like scattered, you sort of know it's like bits of cloud scattered everywhere, and broken, you know it's thick cloud. But when it's few, it's a bit vague. Like it's probably more than scattered, but it's less than broken. But it's sort of, sometimes it seems, I don't know, maybe they could come up with a better word for it, maybe they couldn't, I don't know. Who knows? Haven't heard anything off the Midwest flight number 1 flight that is going on. Don't know what time he is planning on departing. An MD-80 as well, that's interesting. By passing Siski. We need to be above 20,000, flight level 200, so no problem there. With that, we're pretty much on course with our descent. We have got some thick cloud up ahead. Memory doesn't seem to be affected by it though. Also, I think the cloud might actually clear by the time we get to Denver. It's just this part that has quite a thick cloud look. Because remember, this isn't really the weather for Denver that we've got right now. We're still 75 miles from Denver. You know, so it's... These clouds are the clouds we've got during descent. But we're passing 25,000 now. ETA, I'm guessing... No, the ETA hasn't even started going back yet. It will eventually. So it's when we start slowing down that the ETA starts to knock back and realise, oops. There you go, we're going to go down to 250 knots now. It is a restriction at Bugdi. Might be quite hard to slow this thing down and maintain a decent descent rate at the same time. But we'll try. This thing's constantly firing back on the engines. It's a bit weird to be slowing down this early. But, you know, it's the restriction of the airport. It's what we have to do. Yeah, it's only 68 miles to Denver, so it's not massively far now. It is weird. It feels like a crazy quick flight, this, after the 7-hour one I did yesterday. There we go. You can see our Mach number just falling. The Mach number tends to be more stable than this, as in you can barely see when the speed's going down with that because it's quite slow. The Mach number's a better indication that you are actually slowing down, and the ground speed by here also quite a good indication that you're slowing down. Right, this can go down to 20 nautical mile range now. I'm starting to see all the waypoints, and this one also, so I can see our descent path. We have managed to slow this thing down in time for Bugdi, and then we've got to get, of course, we've got to get down to 13,000 feet and 210 knots in 22 miles now. So that could be slightly difficult. I don't know. But I do suspect that we're going to have quite a... Although, actually, we've only just passed Bugdi at the correct altitude, 210. So, yeah, we've got 8,000 feet to drop in 22 miles and 40 knots to drop in 20 miles. I don't know. Hopefully this thing can do it. I don't know, this thing doesn't seem to be taking the... Oh, there you go, this thing's descent rate is now starting to pick up. This thing's max descent rate tends to be around 3,000 feet per minute, give or take, so I just want this thing to try and descend as quick as it can, really. So we can stay on course for when this thing wants to slow down. Which it will at some point, guaranteed. This thing will want to slow down. For Crag at some point, I don't know when, but it will. Maybe 15 miles out, something like that, I don't know. This plane makes it up as it goes along, really. Right, seatbelts can come on now. And we'll flick on to transition altitude in a little bit. And this thing's, I don't know, it's managing at about 2,200 feet per minute, so not massive, but might have some problems maintaining descent when we need to slow down. Because as you can see, we're not really able to slow down with this descent rate. It's not really possible. So this thing wants us to get down to 213 knots. We can't really do any lower unless we deploy flaps. Anything below 260 knots we can actually use flaps 1 for. So I'll get flaps 1 in because we are under 260 knots. That'll help us slow down a little. It's asking us to use speed brakes, yeah. Hopefully flaps 1 will encourage us to slow down. Then at 240 I'll put in flaps 5 to further help us slow down. And then there's a speed restriction at Teller of 210 knots, so we can't go below 210 knots for a bit then. But it's just helping us slow down, basically. It is handy that you can use the flaps from 260 knots. In some planes you can't do it until a bit later, so it's a great mechanism to try and get this thing to slow down, because it is a difficult plane to slow down. This right, once we pass below 240 knots, I can then deploy flaps 5. Right, let's do it now, because hopefully it'll encourage it to slow down. There we go. We'll have a little bit of an overspeed warning briefly. There we go. Timed that pretty well. And this thing's able to keep on its descent now. Oh, set standard pressure. No, not standard pressure, the new pressure. And using flaps 5 has enabled us to slow down a lot more. Get us down to 10 nautical mile range. Same with this one. That's as far down as they can go now, without me being able to see the airport, which I don't really want to do. And we'll set this down to the ILS altitude of 7,000. So when we're approaching Teller, I'll leave a message on Unicom I'll wait and see what our ETA says, because I have a feeling it'll probably be later than 9:40 by the time I get to Teller. We've only got 37 miles to go, though, not bad. We're doing pretty well today in terms of that. And also, we've managed to get down to 13,000 feet and 210 knots at Crag as well. Partially down to the help, yes, of the flaps, but, you know, however you do it, doesn't really matter. And then we've got to be, I think, there's no further restrictions after Teller for speed, I don't think. I'll switch ourselves onto the ILS chart now. No, there's no further speed restrictions, but I just want to be on the
Ladies and gentlemen,
ILS chart, because we are only 10 miles from Teller now, just under that, 7.5 really.
Position. Ensure all portable electronic devices are turned off. Additionally, footrest and video monitors must be returned to their original position. Thank you.
And there we go, we are now sort of approaching Denver Airport. It should have loaded in by now. And the memory look, there is a plane on the ground, so it's not like it has nothing to render in. That's not Denver, is it? Nope. That might be Denver, and I don't think it is. That looks quite small as well. I'm not able to see it yet. It's still 30 miles, and we're not overflying it at all. So who knows? Right, this thing's sort of having to keep this. Right, ETA is, I'll say 9:43 because it's always going later. Are we using 3-4 left now? Yeah, we're still using 3-4 left. And we are approaching Teller. We're approaching Teller then, so this is the start of our approach now. This thing's going to want to start slowing down. Right, line lights on for arrival. Get the speed brakes. Actually, no, not speed brakes. Let's use flaps 10. Okay, 15, why not? We can use 15 without the plane yelling at us, I think. I don't think you can go any lower than 15, though. There's a certain flap, I think it's any higher than 15, where the plane will start shouting at you. If you haven't got your gear down at this point, it will start going, I don't know why it does it. The 737 does it as well, and it's really annoying. Like, why does the gear need to be down to use this flap setting? Why? Shouldn't matter, no? I'm guessing it's just like a reminder to put down the gear. That's probably what it is. Obviously, you don't want to land without gear, because it's not good. Like, that isn't good. Having wheels is a key ingredient for being able to land. Right, we are 23 miles out, so we're still quite far out at the moment. I will tune the approach, however I don't think we'll be in range of it yet. Oh, never mind. We're in range of the localizer around the glide slope, nice. So we'll let that take over then. Speed, we'll set it to 160 knots until 4 DME. That seems to be what most airports have, so we'll set that. There is no speed restriction here really, but we'll set roughly 160 knots on the speed for now. That's a pretty good sort of initial approach speed. We're on the glide slope now, so this thing can manage itself. Although I can't actually see the airport we're approaching because it is still quite far away. There we go. That's Denver Airport. So there it is. It's loaded in. We have had a small memory increase, but not massive. we're established on the ILS, just approaching this now. We'll set our go-around altitude now, which is 10,000. Because obviously it doesn't matter what it's set to now, because we're just following this anyway. At 160 knots. Because we are still quite far away, remember? We're still 16 miles out, so I'm not going to bother. Maybe I have to slow down a little bit early, but, you know. It's quite a long final approach here at Denver. I'll go on to the airport chart now. 3-4 left, probably vacate on Delta 6. Maybe Delta 9 if we run that long, but I don't think we will run that long somehow. So it'll be Delta 6 probably. Don't know what happened to Delta 7. It doesn't exist. You've got Delta 2, Delta 3, then it skips to 5, then it skips to, and then it's 6, then it skips to 8, then 9, and then it skips to 11. Like, what happened to half of the Delta taxiways? Oh well, maybe it was like a procedure change. This airport's massive, look at it. Wow. And obviously I'm running full airport density as well. It's massive. It's got so many runways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see 5. I can't see the 6th runway though. I can't see the 6th one. So I think maybe one of them was built a bit later. Possibly. But there we go. We're on final. Well, not final really. We're still quite far out. Winter is our final waypoint. And then that'll put us on a 5-mile final. So after winter, we'll decrease to 140 knots, which is still our landing speed, I believe. Yep. And we'll set flaps 30. Can I set flaps 17 without this thing yelling at me? I can. What's the limit then to this thing yelling at you? Is it flaps 20? Because that's the first landing flaps. There's a flaps 18. It's probably 20 then when it starts yelling at you. There you go, yeah. 20 is where it starts yelling at you. So 18 is what we'll put for now. It's because 20 is the first landing flaps. Look, you can use flaps 20 for landing in this plane. I always tend to use flaps 30 though. I don't know why. I just tend to. Right, when we're at winter, I'll post it on a 5-mile final. And we can get ready for our approach then. That plane actually is disconnected. Okay. Never mind then. That Midwest plane is actually just disconnected. Midway, I think it was. So we have the airport to ourselves. Yeah, this airport's massive, but it doesn't seem to kill frames at all. This is pretty amazing.
2,500.
Right, 2,500. Or increase the memory an awful lot either. I wonder why it was so bad yesterday then. I mean, Dubai has 2 runways, okay, and sort of 2 like inline concourses with a few aprons. That's all Dubai has. This airport has 3 concourses that are all separate, 5 runways, that's the key thing, and a few aprons as well. It even has 2. It has 4 fire stations. My word. And it has a general aviation apron. It's massive, this airport. Right, there's actually nothing here. Right, drop that to 140 knots now. Gear down. We've gone past the 1 hour and 41 estimated arrival time. 1 hour 41, yeah. We're already at 1 hour 44. Right, and flaps can go full now. We've got the gear down. And the speed brake is armed, so speed brake armed, auto brake set, seat belts are on, flaps are set, gear is down, landing checklist, we are all good, so back to the ND, there we go, I am all happy with that. We are 4 miles out, so I'll go ahead and take control of the plane. Oh wait, you need to do it there, don't you? There we go, set that, and then we'll take control of the throttle as well, and we'll disarm it. Cool. I now have control of this airplane. Give it a bit more power. Winds aren't too bad actually. We're only about 3 knots right now, so I'm not getting blown all over the place yet.
1,000.
Hopefully I can redeem myself for that terrible landing in Brisbane a few days ago. So the landing in Dubai was awesome, but you guys didn't see it. It was a really smooth one. Right, come on. Cool, 787. A little bit high there because they wanted just like the altitude just dropped there on final. We're pretty much on course now with the runway.
500.
There's 500. Oh, that extra runway was there. I'm flying over it now. It's a bit dangerous having that runway there if this plane's like on final for this runway. No?
300.
300.
200.
There's 200.
Approaching minimums.
There's minimums.
Minimums.
Continue. And
50,
idle it.
40. 30.
I'm not getting pushed all over the runway with this.
10.
Come on, let's do it. Within the touchdown marks, please. There we go. What the? How is that a minus 255? Seriously, how is that a 255? Or whatever. Right, there we go. 8 knots reverses in. Let's try and go for a Delta 6 vacate here. Right, all brakes off. Manual braking. And here we are. We can vacate here on Delta 6. Okay, so down goes the flaps. Hello and welcome everybody to Denver. Flight time 1 hour and 47 minutes. Not bad. A little bit more than planned. And we'll go ahead and vacate here.
We will be taxiing for the next
to the
2
right.
minutes, so please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. At that time, please remember to check around your seat.
And we have vacate here on Delta 6, so we'll head straight down here then.
For all personal belongings that you
And we'll head straight down here now. Lovely. Right. Hello and welcome everybody to Denver. That landing felt a lot better than a minus 255. It honestly felt quite smooth. Maybe the speed dropped off at last second, I don't know, but it felt pretty smooth. Anyway, head down here, down Whiskey Charlie. We'll head down Golf the whole way to Concourse C, I think, where we're going to go ahead and take gate Charlie 31, I think. Oh, there we go. We'll take the B gates because it has some heavy gates, does it? Yes, it does. We'll take the B gates then. Gate B36. Nope. I want the other side if that's possible. Nope, they're only on one side. So we'll take B36. Go on, B36. And we'll take... There's no non-airlines, so I guess we'll take Delta since we're flying Delta out of here. So yeah, so we need to be alongside Bravo Sierra. So I'll go back to the airport chart now. Head down Golf to there. Obviously the memory has picked up a little bit now. GSX has spawned. Hello welcome everyone. Go ahead and get the landing lights off now. And the taxi lights on. And the APU turned on as well. There we go. I don't know, the clock keeps going on this plane sometimes. I think you need to be like below a certain speed for it to sort of knock out. Let's try under 7 knots. Under like 10 knots maybe, because I thought it might have been under 20, but... Right, you know what, we'll head down Foxtrot, forget it. I was initially planning Golf, but whatever. You know what, nope, we'll go down Golf. I want to go down Golf. It's closer to the terminals. I can just do this. Lovely looking airport, this Denver. Yeah, the clock just keeps going sometimes. I don't know why. We know it was an hour and 47 minutes. Sometimes it does stop after landing, though. It's kind of odd. I don't know. I don't really know what determines that it stops. Maybe we have to, like, stop. Maybe I have to, like, park up. What if I do that, look? Maybe you have to park up after you take off or something. So let's go down Golf to the second half of Concourse B. We want Golf. Oh wait, we want taxiway 4 Whiskey. and then we'll take it down there. And from 4 Whiskey, that'll take us then into the gate that we want. But there we go, guys. Well, we didn't have an ATC today, but oh well. We never seem to have much ATC, do we, in the US? We had ATC, you know, when we loaded in. As soon as I got my clearance, they shut. So what can you do, I guess? What can you do? That's how it is. But anyway, we'll head down here now. Getting a little bit too much speed here. And we can reset the trim as well to 4. There it is. So this is concourse C that we see there. That's C. That's the small one. And then B's the main one. And then A is a bit smaller like C. So it makes kind of sense, I guess, that the heavy gates are by that one. So that's Charlie November. Yes. That's holding point 7 Whiskey. So we want Bravo Sierra then, is what we want. Passing holding point 4 Whiskey. But I don't think you can see the holding points even, really. We've got a few de-icing trucks about the place. Don't know why. They're just sitting there. De-icing pads, maybe? Who knows? So that's Charlie Sierra. Then it's Bravo November. We're taking Bravo Sierra. So we've got to look for the taxiway sign for that. Memory's not bad here, look. Despite the fact that GSX is loaded in, look. We have GSX and we're in a runway. We're in an airport with 5 runways and masses of scenery. Look, it's a massive airport, this, and we're fine. Fine on memory. Like, about 25% less than I had landing in Dubai. It's just nuts. And I only gained 4% of memory throughout the flight, so that doesn't add up. You're missing 21% there somehow. You know, and then the 10% extra, so you're missing 11%. And that 11% was probably Vatsim. So it's probably the 10% from reloading the game that I missed. But anyway, we'll taxi in here at Bravo Sierra, just behind Alpha November, which is over there. Past holding point 4 Whiskey, and we'll head straight down here then. And we should see GSX parked somewhere around there at the few heavy gates at this airport. I don't know, that clock has still continued going, look. Well, we know it was an hour and 47, so it doesn't really matter. Right, there is our GSX. I see the Delta plane, the Delta liveried stairs. And then I'll turn on to the green taxi lane. And this is what gets us into the, I don't know why it's called the green taxi lane, and on the other side is the purple taxi lane. It's kind of odd. Right, so we'll taxi onto here. And then we'll be left at the last gate along here, pretty much. There you go, I see GSX, I see where they're parked. Because this is a heavy gate, they won't bug out with where we're parking, hopefully. They don't tend to do that. Medium gates, it doesn't bug out too much. It's the small gates that cause the big bugs. Because obviously a plane like this isn't meant to taxi into a small gate. But, you know, ATC do actually give me heavy gates in this thing. What gate are we at? Oh, we're at that gate, look. Oh, never mind. I shouldn't have used a taxi lane then. Never mind. Because these stands are bigger, look. That's how you can tell they're heavy gates. Never mind, I shouldn't use a taxi gate. The taxi lane, that's what it's called, isn't actually on the chart as splitting like this. So I think there might be some out-of-date scenery going on there, possibly. Anyway, we're taxiing up now. And we shouldn't end up inside the marshaller this time, because we are, of course, using a heavy gate. I am slightly wonky here, so I want to go slightly far and then taxi back on like that. And actually get us pretty much lined up with where I'm meant to be. There we go, plane's pretty much lined up now. So I'll just put back the power all the way now. And then we'll just follow what GSX tells us from here. And then we'll just park it. Let's try and get exact. Oh, no, I missed it. It's so hard to get exact, but there we go. It's pretty good parking. Make sure the APU is on. There we go. APU is running, so we can cut the engines there. And hopefully the clock will actually stop now. Very good parking. We're going to get a dance. Ah, I got a dance in Dubai, and he was singing Gangnam Style. Yeah, I know. You gotta love GSX sometimes. Right, taxi light off, beacon light off, and external power can go on. Now, I don't think there is a way to avoid the plane cutting its own power here, unfortunately. I don't know if external power is ready. That's what I want to know. You can't seem to be able to know. So yeah, I think it's automatic that when you go onto external power, it does this. See, the memory is still lower than what it was when I spawned in Lisbon. Like I've been through a whole flight and loaded in 2 lots of GSX. I mean, and for sure, Denver is bigger than Lisbon by a large amount. Right, off goes the APE then. Is the jetway connected? Yes, it is. So, and on goes the wheel chocks, off go the parking brake, and there we go. That is us safely on the ground here in Denver. Off go the flight directors. Of course, it's going to moan at me about the parking brake now. Okay. It doesn't accept the wheel chocks, so never mind. On goes the forward cargo. And back cargo. And then I'll open the left door as well. And that is us, everybody. Welcome to Denver. Everything is all turned off now. Yes. Fuel pumps. There we go. Everything is all off now. And finished with. Off go the APU gens, and that's about it now, isn't it? Hello and welcome everyone to Denver International Airport after a flight time of 1 hour and 47, was it? So 6 minutes over planned, 2.5 hours today's stream, so pretty much perfect mad chilly length for streaming that. Perfect length. And hello and welcome to Denver. Go ahead and open up the back door there so people can get out the back, I guess, as we watch all the cargo disappear. Is that some Virgin Atlantic cargo I see there? I think it is. And we've got some Aviaserve cargo. It's all a bit random because it hasn't got like a set number for this livery. So it's a set sort of bit of handling. But hello and welcome everyone. I leave you with this wonderful looking 787. Next week, let's just get on to the end screen now. Next week, join me for 2 streams. No, 3 streams, sorry. Wednesday evening, we are continuing the FSX VFR streaming in the Mooney Bravo. And then Thursday afternoon, sorry, I think we're doing more US flying. We are flying from here in Denver out to Minneapolis. Might get better ATC in the afternoons as well, but I'm pretty sure it's Thursday's stream. If not, I would rather do it on Thursday. I'd rather do the Innsbruck flight on Saturday. But yeah, so Saturday we're only flying from Manchester to Innsbruck. I am becoming a proper flight simmer, guys. I am flying to Innsbruck. I've never flown there before. It's quite hard to believe, I know. And then, of course, in a few weeks' time, 3 weeks, it was 3 weeks yesterday, so 2 weeks and 6 days' time, we'll be taking a Jetstar Asia A320 from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam down to Singapore, and of course that one is starting half hour late due to slot times out in Singapore. But yeah, I hope you guys did really enjoy today's flight. And as always, tune in next week for more. I hope you really enjoyed. I certainly really enjoyed today's stream a lot. I love flying the 737. I've flown quite a lot of it, as I said, this week. I've flown hours worth of this plane, and I'm happy to have. So, yes, thank you. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.